Once you've carried out your survey and you've got your results recorded on paper, we need to put the results into Excel. So you can see I've started out by making a new workbook and I've put in my title and I've typed in the first question. Don't worry if either of these go over the cell or is too big to fit in the cell. You don't need to do anything but like widening the columns just yet. So once I've typed in the question, my next point is going to be to put in all of the options. Now for this one there's only two, so I'm going to type in male for one and female, and then I'm going to look at my survey results and write down how many I asked for each person. So for this one I asked 10, and for this for female I asked 12. To work out the total number of people that I asked, first of all I'm going to put a heading in for total, and I'm going to use something called a sum function. So I'm going to start off by pressing equals because that tells the computer that it's going to calculate something now. I'm going to write the word sum, I'm going to select it from the functions list, and then I'm going to highlight all of the numbers that I want to be added. Pressing enter will mean that it calculates that for me. If you are working at a level 6, I would expect you to perhaps also work out the average, min and max. Try replacing the word sum with each one of those words and see what happens. Now as you can see I've added in the rest of my my data. Now I want to start thinking about how I'm going to change the formatting to make it look better. So I'm going to start off by highlighting the individual tables. I'm going to choose the borders button, and you can have a play around with the different options, but I'm going to select all borders for now, and you can see that it's put an outline around each of the cells in the table. I can change the colour by using the fill tool. I could also change the font by highlighting all of the text and choosing something that is appropriate. It still needs to be clear because it needs to be read. Now I can also use the alignment tools to put data on the left or in the centre. Above you can do the top, the middle and the bottom. I can also make the headings stand out by making them bold. Now if I just have a look at this worksheet, you'll see an example of the kind of thing that you could produce. Now to make a graph, I'm going to start off by selecting the data in a table. So I've selected the headings, the male and female, and also the number of males and females that I asked. I'm then going to go to the charts option and I'm going to choose an appropriate graph. So I could choose maybe a column graph or a pie chart in this case. So if I select a column chart, I can choose any one of the options on the left hand side. You do not want to use a stacked one. The information won't be meaningful. So I'm going to choose, for now, just a clustered column chart. Now you can see that it's graphed my data. At the minute this key doesn't actually tell me anything, so in this case I'm going to get rid of it. If I want to format this, I can select the bars. If I click on it once, it selects both, so I need to click on it again to select just one, and when I go home I can actually change the bar colour by using the fill tool, like so. I can also add in some labels by selecting chart layout and adding in a title at the top, and I could put in the question, are you male or female? I can also add in labels, possibly for the vertical axis, the y-axis, and I could put in there the number of people that I asked so we know what these numbers mean. And what you need to do is to now take each of the results for each of the questions and produce a graph, possibly some pie charts and some column charts, ready for your report in the next task.